The morning light revealed the true extent of the damage. The second car of Amtrak train 188 almost completely unrecognizable. It and 6 others derailed on Tuesday night, leaving at least 7 dead and 200 injured, nearly all of the passengers on board. Those who survived recalled the horror.
So you saw it go like that, it swung, you could feel it off the tracks, and then we just rolled and rolled. And the next thing I knew, we were pushing out the emergency exit. And I was outside and there were people screaming and bleeding.
The track here had a sharp curve and an 80-kilometer-per-hour speed limit. National transportation investigators on site say they are ruling nothing out.
We're looking at the track, the train signals, the operation of the train, the mechanical condition of the train, human performance. We are setting up a multidisciplinary investigation to try and understand the factors that led to this accident.
The train's event recorder is already being examined. It may provide some answers. So too might a camera mounted on the front of the train. Philadelphia city officials are calling on the public to provide any information they may have.
This is a fully coordinated operation. Everyone understands their role. We train for these kinds of incidents, although every one of these incidents, and this is a tragedy, are very different.
And one of the difficulties we should point out, Mike, is that a lot of the passengers who were aboard this train may have not actually had tickets. It is possible to buy tickets aboard the train. That made identifying the passengers who were on the manifest more difficult.
What about this train engineer? Is he cooperating with investigators?
Well, we now know that the train engineer was 32-year-old Brian Bastian. He has been identified. On Tuesday night following the derailment, he did speak with officials on the site. On Wednesday, he spoke again with police in the presence of an attorney, and according to police, was said not to be cooperating, not to be answering questions. We actually heard from the mayor of Philadelphia, quite critical of the engineer. That doesn't necessarily mean, I should point out, that he is entirely to blame. There are those records that indicate that there was braking applied at the last minute, but there are still some suggestions that there could have been other problems. We heard from one NTSB official pointing out that if the infrastructure had been in place, if what was called positive track controls had been in place like they are in some other parts of Amtrak's lines in the Northeast Corridor, if those had been in place, then this situation could have been averted. That, of course, a very heavy burden of blame on officials here coming from a member of the NTSB board, perhaps taking some of the focus away from 32-year-old Brian Bastian, who has been with Amtrak, I should point out, for 9 years.